Good evening, Tiger fans. We welcome you to Rupp Arena, I should say. I apologize for that. Traffic was not the most fun to get here to Rupp Arena, but Kentucky and Georgetown in an exhibition scrimmage, and with 6:37 to go in the first half, Georgetown trailing Kentucky only by 6 at 26-20. So a good start for the Tigers here on the road in this exhibition against the Kentucky Wildcats. I'm Jason Griefer. Thank you very much for joining us. And again, we do appreciate your patience. Traffic is not so fun, as I mentioned, getting from Georgetown to Lexington on a night like this, although we do want to congratulate the Georgetown College women's team as they knocked off Campbellsville Harrodsburg by a 108-37 final result. Taking a look at some stats here for you from this game here at Rupp Arena. And again, we do appreciate you joining us here, getting some of the statistics update for you in real time as we just got set up here courtside at Rupp Arena. Georgetown trails 26-20 in the first half. The Tigers shooting 41%, 0 for 6 from 3. Kyron Jones off to a nice start. He has 8 points and 3 rebounds for the Tigers. Taking a look through the rest of the numbers for the Tigers. Jones is the leading scorer with 8. Rashad Bishop and Tay Dozier with 4 apiece. Jaquay Wales, Cam Brooks Harris with 2 points apiece for the Tigers. On the other side for the Kentucky Wildcats, 7 players in the scoring column right now. Antonio Reeves, the leading scorer for the Wildcats. He has 6. Trey Mitchell, the West Virginia transfer, with 5. Reed Shepard with 5. And then you have Rob Dillingham with 4, Justin Edwards and Adu Thiero with 2 points apiece. DJ Wagner, the lone Wildcat who has seen action thus far, has yet to get into the scoring column. Four team fouls against Georgetown at this juncture, and only 2 for the Wildcats as we get moving forward here at Rupp Arena. And I'm Jason Griefer. Thank you so much for joining us here. Again, just getting set up. And as we get going here, we'll get you more and more updates from today's proceedings as we move forward. Good crowd here at Rupp Arena. Not the usual full crowd, which is you've come to expect for most games at Rupp. But nevertheless, still a great experience here for the Georgetown College Tigers to be able to come in here to Rupp and get this opportunity to go against obviously more than a blue blood in the Kentucky Wildcats. Out of the media timeout, Rob Dillingham will be at the line shooting 2 free throws for the Wildcats. And 4 fouls against Georgetown, just 2 against Kentucky thus far in the ball game, as the first free throw from Dillingham barely draws the front end of the iron. 6:37 to go in the first half. Georgetown hanging with the Kentucky Wildcats thus far, 26-20. Georgetown wearing the black uniforms, orange numbers and letters, the new Nike uniforms from this year. Kentucky, of course, in the home whites. Dillingham converts on the second, and he will leave and be replaced by DJ Wagner. Okay, all I want you to do is just update the scores. If you can do that for me, I'd appreciate it. So there's a UK score and a GBB score, so highlight it, then change it right there. I'll work with you as we go forward. So we have a foul here. We're still trying to get our equipment set up here courtside. A foul is called on the floor against DJ Wagner. That is his first and the team's 3rd. So back to action. Brooks Harris has it at the top. He'll hand off the Wales around a curl, being defended by Edwards, and another foul is going to be called here, and it's going to be called against Justin Edwards. That is the second foul against Justin Edwards here, and the team's fourth. Again, Georgetown trailing 27-20, have the ball in their side of the floor. We're across the benches here at Rupp Arena, so Georgetown in this first half going from left to right. Brooks Harris at the top, shuffles it off to Dozier, about 5 feet behind the three-point line. Dozier looking right, around the screen. Brooks Harris gets it back. It's knocked away by Reeves. Shepard moving ahead for Kentucky all the way to the rim. Rejected by Brooks Harris. Great block by Cam Brooks Harris in transition. Georgetown. Tay Dozier to the right corner. Jaquay Wales, three. Yes! Transition basketball for the Tigers. Wales brings Georgetown within 4 at 27-23. Basket inside. DJ Wagner scoring for the Wildcats. 29-23 in favor of Kentucky. Wales slows it down the top, being checked by the 6'8" Justin Edwards, who many think could be a top 5 NBA draft pick a year from now. Wales gives off to Dozier at the top around a screen, and Cam Brooks Harris will get called for a moving screen at the top, and that'll be the first foul called against the Georgetown senior, Cam Brooks Harris. Back to action here. Wagner around the screen at the top of the key. He'll launch a 3-line drive. Not there. Brooks Harris has the rebound, his second of the night, and he will bring it into the front court. Right now for Georgetown, Tommy Thomas with ball in hand. Cam Brooks Harris on the floor. Tay Dozier. Tommy Thomas, strong drive to the rim and finished with the left hand. Faked his drive right, went left, and Thomas with the banker, and Georgetown continues to hang with Kentucky down by 4 with under 4:45 to go in the first half. Reed Shepard, top of the key for Kentucky. Left side, Reeves down the lane, and a hand check foul is going to be called. And it's going to be against Brooks Harris, and that'll be 2 on Cam Brooks Harris. And it'll be interesting to see how Chris Briggs plays this out here today. Again, Kentucky with so many of their bigs not in action. Aaron Bradshaw, Ugana Onyensu, and Zvonimir Ivicic all out for Kentucky due to injury. So a smaller Wildcat lineup than I'm sure John Calipari would like. But Cam Brooks Harris will stay on with the 2 fouls. He'll defend Trey Mitchell. Here is Wagner at the top, being checked by Wales, sitting on that right hand. Wagner looks left. Reeves around a curl, being surrounded by Thomas. Here is Mitchell in the block, working against Brooks Harris. Brooks Harris may have got away with a foul. Mitchell shoveled off onto Edwards with the left-hand hook from 10. Not there. Brooks Harris takes it away from Mitchell, and Georgetown presses into the front court. 4 minutes, 20 seconds to go in the first half. Tommy Thomas, bullet pass, far side. Isaiah Mason, the NKU transfer. Back out to Thomas. 17-footer straight away, way off to the left. And Shepard has the rebound moving forward for Kentucky. Long lead forward. Edwards from 10. Not there. Cam Brooks Harris pulls down the rebound. And Kentucky thus far, one and done. So far on the offensive end, Georgetown doing a great job crashing the gas, particularly with Kyron Jones and Rashad Bishop out. Cam Brooks Harris, right wing, being checked by Reeves. Down the lane. Brooks Harris, yes! Cam Brooks Harris, jab step left, went right, and laid it all the way in, and Georgetown is within 2 of Kentucky with 3:40 to go in the half. Deflected pass finds Reed Shepard in the left side corner. Now DJ Wagner lets the 3 go, but there is a whistle ahead of time, and Jaquay Wales will get called for a foul. It'll be his first, and we have a timeout on the floor. 3:38 to go in the first half. Georgetown giving Kentucky all it can handle right now. The Tigers trailing by just 2. Welcome back to historic Rupp Arena. 3:38 to go in the first half of action. And Georgetown trailing Kentucky just 29-27. The Tigers shooting 46% from the field. Kentucky shooting just 45% from the field. Pretty even across the board. Georgetown just 1 of 7 from three-point range. That three-pointer came from Jaquay Wales. And Kentucky is 2 of 8 from downtown. Trey Mitchell and Reed Shepard with the long-range bombs for the Wildcats. This is, of course, an exhibition game here for the Georgetown Tigers. The season opener will take place this coming Sunday afternoon at Davis Reed Alumni Gym. Georgetown will take on Virginia Lynchburg. Yes, Sunday afternoon, so make sure that you are there at Davis Reed Alumni Gym, and it'll be a 1 o'clock tip-off for that one in the regular season opener for the Tigers. The NAIA preseason poll just came out this past Wednesday. Georgetown is ranked 5th in the country in the NAIA. Kentucky ranked 16th in the NCAA's preseason AP poll. So out of the timeout, Kentucky will be at the line for free throws. For Georgetown on the floor, it'll be Brooks Harris, Isaiah Mason, the NKU transfer, Jaquay Wales, Tay Dozier, and it looks like Kyron Jones has returned to the floor. Shepard will be at the line as Georgetown is over the 7-foul limit. 1 and a bonus, and the free throw is good, so it'll be point there for Reed Shepard, his 6th of the night thus far. Second free throw is good for Shepard. He will come out and give way to Rob Dillingham. Brooks Harris inbounds to Wales. Kentucky going to come with some backcourt pressure. Wales will have to deal with DJ Wagner in the backcourt. Wales safely across. Now the double team comes from Jordan Burks. Brooks Harris left wing, spins at the elbow, stops to the right side. Tay Dozier pull up from 15, way too strong. Mitchell pulls down the rebound. Wagner presses forward. Georgetown has 3 defenders back. Mitchell shovels it to Wagner, now to Dillingham at the top of the key, right side. Trey Mitchell doesn't want a 3. DJ Wagner shuffles his feet. May have got away with a walk. They don't call it. Mitchell straight away, working against Kylan Jones. Reeves around a Mitchell screen, 17-footer. No, Reeves tried to draw a foul going to the floor. Did not get that call. Mason in the front court for Georgetown. Isaiah Mason, that is. Top of the key, Cam Brooks Harris. Knuckleball 3 off the front iron. Dillingham rips down the board. Not going to see a lot of Georgetown challenging the offensive glass in this one. Want to make sure they get back in transition. Antonio Reeves down the right baseline. Floats one up and good over the top of Isaiah Mason. And it is 33-27 Kentucky with 2 minutes and 35 seconds to go in the first half. Dozier will slow it down, being checked by Reeves. Kentucky in a man-to-man. Dozier right side, stops at the elbow. Tries to go backdoor to Mason. Mason trying to flip it to the far end. It's taken away by Burks. Wagner up ahead to Dillingham, trying to go through 3 defenders. Got away with a walk. It wasn't called. Jones tips away the rebound. Tried to save it off of Reeves and could not do so. It'll stay down on this near end with Kentucky. 2:17 to go in the first half, and Georgetown trailing 33-27. Wagner will inbound directly in front of where we're standing right here. And I got to tell you, folks, he is a well-built young man, just a freshman at 6'4", allegedly 192, according to the media guide, maybe closer to the 200-pound mark. He is a fit young man. He'll take the inbound pass and work against Wales at the top of the key. 15 seconds to shoot. Burks has it left wing to Dillingham. Reeves straight away. Good closeout by Wales. Burks on the slip down the lane. Jones contests, but Burks lays it in. Burks with the bucket, his first, and the lead is 8 for Kentucky at 35-27. Dozier spinning, reverse lay-in, too strong. Kyron Jones finds the deflection. Tough shot at the glass, and a late whistle comes in, and Kyron Jones will go, it looks like, to the foul line, and I believe they're going to get Trey Mitchell. First foul against Mitchell, and the 5th against Kentucky here in this first half, as Kyron Jones will step to the line. And, of course, for Georgetown fans, you remember the free throws that he knocked down in the second round of the tournament last year to knock off Indiana Wesleyan. This first free throw here is good. And so Kyron Jones now with 8 points to lead Georgetown. He also has 4 rebounds. That's tied with Brooks Harris for the team high. Second one here for Kyron, the super senior from Bowling Green, Kentucky, is short. Jones nearly got his own rebound, but Mitchell pulls it away for Kentucky and lobs it forward to Jordan Burks. Lob, it's deflected. Dillingham catches it, misses the lay-in off the glass. It got deflected by Dozier, and I think that threw the timing off just enough. Dillingham could not capitalize. 90 seconds to go in the first half. Kyron Jones has it straight away, this time being checked by Dillingham. Jones will hand off to Wales. One dribble. Now Brooks Harris back to Wales. 10 seconds to shoot on the left wing. Slip pass. Brooks Harris down the lane is raked across the face by Burks, who's trying to say had his hands up the whole time. Not going to get that call. And Jordan Burks picks up the foul. First foul against Burks and the team's sixth. Cam Brooks Harris to the line for Georgetown. Tigers trailing by 7. 1:17 to go in the first half, and the free throw from Brooks Harris rattles in. Point number 5 for the senior. 5 points, 4 rebounds, 2 blocks thus far for Brooks Harris. Also a thunderous dunk on a fast break transition before we were able to get on the air here with you. Second free throw is good for Harris. And Georgetown back within 5, 1:17 to go in the half. Georgetown with some backcourt pressure. Reeves breaks it, though, into the front court. A trap with Wales and Dozier. He shuffles it off to Wagner at the top. Wagner splits a double team. Left side, Dillingham doesn't want a three. To the top, Reeves, the better three-point shooter. Three-pointer, no. Burks went for the putback slam, no good. Cam Brooks Harris pulls it down. 1 minute to go in the half, and Georgetown can get back within a possession with a bucket. Kyron Jones gets established on the low block against Antonio Reeves. Good size matchup here between these two. Jones inside. Has it knocked away going up for it, and it'll stay with Georgetown. Shepard returns for the Wildcats, replacing Reeves. 49.9 in the half, 18 to shoot for the black and orange, and Chris Briggs will take a 30-second timeout. I believe this is the use it or lose it timeout for the Tigers here in this first half. Rashad Bishop will return to the game on the other side of this timeout. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Georgetown Tigers YouTube channel. Of course, I know many of you are also got a simulcast on the SEC network. So, hey, thanks for linking us up, and you can hear Jimmy Dykes plenty of times as we go throughout the season on national television. I kid, he's a great broadcaster. Seats available throughout Rupp Arena as we're looking down here. Looking up, what am I saying? Looking down, we're looking up. Myself and my producer and director, Georgetown softball coach Thomas Thornton, helping us out here at the scorers table, and he's making sure I stay in line. May talk to him a little bit at halftime, kind of get his thoughts on the opportunity to play up, because his team played an exhibition game against Kentucky's softball team earlier in the fall. So may talk to him about that at halftime and kind of get his thoughts on just the mindset of playing a game like this. Lob out of the break, and Bishop lays it in. Dozier laid it up beautifully. Bishop went right over the top of Mitchell to put it in. 42 seconds to go in the half. Shepard in transition, lost it, threw it away. Mason picks it up for Georgetown. Moving forward, Tate Dozier, lob, Brooks Harris jam! The Tigers are running, and they're running within 1 of Kentucky with 30 seconds to go in the half. And now Kentucky wants to call a timeout. Cam Brooks Harris with a yell to the Rupp Arena crowd, as this crowd's a little bit surprised here. 27.7 on the clock. Georgetown with a little mini run here, and it is a 1-point game with 27.7 on the clock. And I love the fact that Kentucky is willing to get out and run and challenge this athletic and quick Kentucky Wildcats lineup. They are showing they are not afraid coming into this ball game. If you follow Jimmy Dykes on Twitter, he met with the team yesterday as the Tigers were here at Rupp yesterday for a shoot-around, and he called Georgetown an NAIA powerhouse, and he is exactly right. And right now they are giving Kentucky all it can handle here in the first half. Still a long way to go, but man, there is a smattering of orange and black here in this crowd. I gotta say, we like seeing that here. I gotta see directly across from us, Georgetown assistant offensive line coach Steve Hill. Of course, Thomas next to me is telling me, of course, he'd be here for an opportunity like this. So, but it's great to see there is a smattering of orange and black here in the crowd. Wagner takes the inbound out of the timeout. 25 seconds to play. Shot clock is off. He'll dribble it out near the timeline with Wales giving him some space, not a lot. Now to Burks. And now Kentucky gets his offense moving. Dillingham on the right wing to Wagner straight away. Left wing, this is Mitchell beyond the three-point line. 10 seconds to shoot. Dillingham being checked by Jones. A bit of a mismatch here with Dillingham's quickness. Pull up 10-footer. No. Mitchell tried the tip. It's not there. Tate Dozier is fouled in the backcourt. I think they're going to get Dillingham with a block. And looking at things, that'll be the 7th team foul for Kentucky. And that'll put Tate Dozier at the line for a 1-and-1 and could potentially give Georgetown the lead at the break. There is 1.5 on the clock. Tate Dozier. Kentucky was trying to get going. Dillingham tried to step in against Dozier and draw the charge. It didn't happen. Dozier steps in now, the redshirt sophomore from Louisville. The eruption zone trying to bother him, and he misses the free throw. Burks grabs the rebound, and the first half comes to an end. But an impressive showing for the Georgetown Tigers through 20 minutes here at the break in this exhibition contest at Rupp Arena. It is Kentucky 35, Georgetown 34. Back at Rupp Arena here at halftime, Kentucky leading Georgetown 35-34. Taking a look at some of the first half numbers, Georgetown shoots 44% in the first half, just 1 of 8 from three-point range, so nearly 60% from inside the three-point arc, which is a good sign, attacking the smaller Kentucky lineup than is traditional. Tigers 5 of 7 at the free throw line. Kentucky, meanwhile, 41% from the floor, 22%, just 2 of 9 from three-point range. They are 3 of 4 at the line. Turnovers 9-7. If you want to call it in favor of Georgetown, the Tigers have 9 turnovers, Kentucky with 7. Rebounding, Kentucky hanging right with the Wildcats. Kentucky with a 22-20 edge on the boards. Georgetown does have 6 offensive rebounds and also 5 blocks. So the Tigers really coming in, playing aggressive, playing strong. And actually right now, the only decided area that's an advantage for Kentucky is the bench points. Kentucky's bench has outscored Georgetown's, I should say, 16-2. But points in the paint do favor Georgetown at 22-18. Second chance points, which is really impressive for Georgetown. 6 offensive rebounds and 9 second chance points. Just 4 second chance points for the Wildcats against 8 offensive rebounds. Kentucky has led through most of the half, 4 ties and 2 lead changes. Georgetown has led for just 50 seconds in the half. Meanwhile, Kentucky has led for pretty much throughout, but nothing too egregious thus far. Kentucky dance team performing a routine here at the halftime of this exhibition. Got a lot going on here in and around Georgetown College. Of course, this exhibition here tonight, Georgetown College women's soccer picking up a 2-0 win over Talladega in their home finale that just wrapped up not too long ago over at Toyota Stadium in Georgetown. The men's soccer team, senior night tonight. Braxton Hewitt and Brandon Flores being honored for the Tigers before their game against Talladega is just about to get underway at Toyota Stadium. Nevertheless, great to have you with us here on the Georgetown Tigers YouTube channel. I'm Jason Griefer. Great opportunity here for Georgetown throughout this one. And this opportunity was really in the works for a little while over the summer. Just took some time to get things finalized. But first time back here for Georgetown since 2019. And, of course, if you followed Tigers basketball since then, you know what happened that year. The Tigers went on to win the NAIA National Championship. So maybe a good omen there as we get forward into the regular season. We had a fan knock down three three-point shots at halftime, and he won a $100 gift card to the UK team shop here at Rupp Arena. That might get him one T-shirt, maybe two, depending on the quality of the shirt that young man chooses. But nevertheless, get on the court at Rupp Arena, under the spotlight, knock down 3 threes. Hey, go get yourself some merch. Why not? 35-34, Georgetown at the half, trailing Kentucky. And we'll step aside once more, maybe delve into the numbers, and I'll see if I can convince Thomas Thornton to kind of give his thoughts on playing against Kentucky in just a little bit here from Rupp Arena. Welcome back here as halftime rolls on here at Rupp Arena. Georgetown trailing Kentucky 35-34. I mentioned a little bit earlier that Georgetown softball coach Thomas Thornton helping us out here with the live stream here at Rupp Arena, but also wanted to get his thoughts on the opportunity here for this team. He understands as well as anybody what this opportunity is. In fact, just back in the month of September, he brought his team down to Lexington to take on the University of Kentucky softball team in an exhibition. We don't count the score because it's an exhibition. Nobody's worried about that. But Thomas, just your thoughts in general about giving your team that opportunity that came to them. I know you have a relationship with Rachel Lawson, and that helps you, and also the proximity, but just the opportunity for your team to go in to a place like the University of Kentucky and play the Wildcats.
I tell you, it's huge. It's every kid that comes up playing ball, playing softball, playing basketball. Okay, you hear me now?
There we go.
All right.
There we go.
It's a big opportunity. Every kid that comes up playing ball, playing basketball, playing softball, baseball, whatever it is, they aspire to be on the field at the highest level, and we feel like Georgetown's at a high level, but a lot of people don't know that because you have a UK, and UK is the flagship program of the state, no matter what sport it is. So it's huge that we're able to step on a court against higher caliber of athlete and be able to compete. A lot of these players, they played with them in high school, so they kind of know who they're going up against, but they've never, they haven't played in this arena. They haven't, like when we went to softball, being able to see your name and your picture on the scoreboard, that's not something we do at Georgetown. So it's huge that they get that opportunity early in their career or early in the season, because it doesn't count for our overall record, but the experience is huge. I'm a firm believer in you play better competition, you get better. And I'm sure Briggs is the same way. He loves playing against teams like this because his guys, they step up and they play out of their minds. They play excited and they want to be out here, and it makes a big difference, and it helps them in the long run.
So Georgetown trailing here right now, 35-34 at the break. I got to tell you, from where we're at, Thomas, I've been impressed thus far in the first half. Georgetown has not been afraid of Kentucky. They've been willing to get up. They've been willing to challenge them. And I got to imagine for you as a coach, that's what you like to see, that your kids do not wilter when the big moment comes, when you've got the spotlight on you. And like I said, you had that when your program and your players get a chance to see their name and scoreboard on the scoreboard and on the lights and all that. They're not afraid of the moment. No. And I think that's as impressive to me as anything from what we saw here. I'm sure you can relate being a coach.
And that's the biggest thing that you could get across to these kids. It's not the score at the end of the game that counts in a game like this. It's how did you compete? Did you let a team go on a run on you and then just give up? Or did you come back and make a run on them? And I sat and watched, of course, I hate to say this, I was a little bit late, so I had to listen to part of it on the radio.
Lexington traffic is can be quite fun to navigate.
But even listening to the radio before I got down here, you could tell they weren't backing down.
Yep.
They didn't care who they were playing; they were going to go at them hard. And as a coach, that's all you can ask for. Win or lose, if your kids go out there and compete and treat every team, and I tell my teams this, treat every team with the respect that they deserve. But don't ever go in with the fear of that team. So, and this group right here, they ain't had no fear at all today.
And that's what you certainly like to see as we go forward again. The Tigers just coming out now from the locker room, about 4 minutes to go until the second half will begin here. You know, you obviously have more, I guess, more frequent breaks in softball between innings, but you don't get to talk to your team as long because you've got to get right back to action. You get in a situation like this, what is your message to your team as you go into the later innings, if you will, to make a softball analogy for you? What is your message when you're right there and you're competing and you're giving that team everything they can handle?
You just got to remind them, don't let up. You know, you got here because of the way you played in the first half. Don't let up. Don't say, okay, hey, we played top 16 team in the nation in NCAA. We played them to a 1-point game at halftime. Well, that's great, but don't go out the second half and let them just blow you off the floor. Don't let up. Come out and play just as hard in the second half as you did the first half, and it'll all go where it needs to go. You know, just like you said a little while ago, I heard you say the last time they played UK, they ended up winning the national tournament at the end of the year. Well, what they're starting today builds them to that national tournament again this year.
Yeah, you have to think that 19 game here in which Georgetown hung with Kentucky for about 25 minutes, and then the Wildcats pulled away at that time for about, I think it was about a 25-point margin of victory at that time. Much different Kentucky team this time around, much different Georgetown team. I think a more athletic squad this year. That's no disrespect to the likes of Chris Coffey and L.J. Coward, who I'm sure are listening for somewhere, and I'm sure I'll get a tweet or a text about that at some point soon from one of those guys, if not Jacob Conway somewhere over in France. But nevertheless, halftime just about coming to an end. Both teams back on the floor for their warm-ups. We'll step aside one more time, and when we come back, we'll have the second half of action in this exhibition contest. It's Kentucky 35, Georgetown 34 here at halftime on the Georgetown Tigers YouTube channel. Second half about to begin. My thanks once again to Georgetown softball coach Thomas Thornton, giving us some insight on what it's like to step up in competition the way that Georgetown is tonight against the Kentucky Wildcats. So 35-34, Kentucky with the lead as we start the second half. Georgetown will be coming this way towards us, right to left from where we are. We're directly across from the Georgetown bench. And we do hope to speak with Chris Briggs after the game. I know he has some media obligations. So after the game, we hope to get Chris Briggs here on our YouTube channel and get his thoughts kind of on this exhibition. Bethany, you're okay. I'm not sending you over right now. Talking to Bethany Blair, our wonderful student specialist here at Georgetown College. Does a fantastic job for us. She's here with us, making sure you're updated across all Georgetown social platforms. Antonio Reeves with the ball down to Adu Thiero, who starts the second half for Kentucky. Reeves with the ball at the top, being checked by Dozier. Mitchell on a slip down low, left side. Dozier got beat down there, and then Adu Thiero finishes inside over the top of Brooks Harris, and the foul counts. And so that'll be 3 fouls on Cam Brooks Harris here in this ball game, and Adu Thiero will step to the line. Played 20 games last year, averages 2 points and 2 rebounds in 10 minutes. He is a grown man as he hits the free throw here. Came to Kentucky about the 6'5", 6'6" range, about 180, 190 pounds. He's now listed at 6'8", 222, and I know the staff at Kentucky thinks he may grow to 6'9" or 6'10". He's still growing. Tommy Thomas tried to dribble it behind the back at Thiero, lost it. Thiero down the other end and lays it in. Adu Thiero with the first 5 points of the first half, and Kentucky's lead quickly back out to 6, just 40 seconds in. Kyron Jones will bring it to the front court. He's defended deep on the right wing by Trey Mitchell. Now shuffles behind to Tay Dozier. Dozier, 10-foot floater down the lane, no good. Jones trying to tap. It's pulled down by Mitchell, shuffled off to Wagner. He fires it ahead to Justin Edwards. Edwards, the left side. Thiero doesn't want the 3. Tommy Thomas tried to draw a charge, not there. Instead, Antonio Reeves knocks down a 3. 8 straight for Kentucky to start the half in just over a minute. And it's a 9-point Wildcat lead. Dozier being harassed, and he is bumped on the way into the front court. DJ Wagner will be called for the foul. That is his second of the ball game. Georgetown will take a sideline inbound directly in front of their bench. And neither Brooks Harris nor Jones could decide who wants to take the inbound. Cam Brooks Harris will have the honor. And he'll take it into Kyron Jones. 20 to shoot for Georgetown, 18:45 to go in the ball game. Jones trying to work right side against Mitchell, crosses him, now stops at the elbow. He'll take the 15-footer. Yes, perfect jumper from Kyron Jones. He nailed those ad nauseum in the NAIA tournament back in March in Kansas City. Drills it from the elbow, and Georgetown's on the board here in the second half. DJ Wagner up the right side, being bumped by Wales. Nothing called. Trey Mitchell skips the pass left side. Reeves, wide open 3. No. And Edwards inside over the top of Brooks Harris, misses the left-handed hook. Edwards jumps past Kyron Jones, and a foul is called on the third try. I think they're going to get Tay Dozier coming from behind, trying to block it, and they will. It will be the first foul of the night against Tay Dozier. Justin Edwards will step to the line. The consensus 5-star prospect named to the Julius Irving Award preseason watch list as potential top small forward in all of college basketball. He was a McDonald's All-American and a Max Preps Pennsylvania High School Player of the Year. He hits the first free throw, and the Kentucky lead now sits at 8. 18-14 to go here in Lexington. One more for the left-handed freshman, rattles home. So Kentucky with a 10-2 run to start this second half, and just a minute and 50 seconds. Brooks Harris down the lane, tries to dunk over Mitchell, couldn't do it. No foul called, play resumes. On the other end into transition, Thiero throws it into the Kentucky bench. It is a Wildcat turnover. Wales will take the ball inbound in the backcourt. Wagner staying with him as Wales shakes and bakes towards the front court. Lazy pass there, and Tommy Thomas lost it. Thiero picks it up ahead. Antonio Reeves will dunk it down. Thomas, wasn't much on the pass, but Thomas didn't make the best effort to come get it either. Dozier lost his footing. Mitchell has it for Kentucky up ahead. Justin Edwards, Euro step in the lane. A foul is going to be called against Georgetown. That looked like a Euro step and a half in the middle, but instead Tommy Thomas will be called for the foul. Dozier's still down behind. I think just retying his shoes. Looks like he's okay. He took an awkward spill at the top of the key. Isaiah Mason will come in for Georgetown after this first free throw from Justin Edwards. 47-36, Kentucky leads, 17:35 to go in this exhibition. Kyron Jones, the high point man for Georgetown with 11. Antonio Reeves leads Kentucky with 13. The eruption zone directly behind the basket Edwards is looking at with one finger in the air for the free throw, and maybe the one finger signals the miss. Isaiah Mason into the game for Georgetown. Tommy Thomas heads out. Isaiah Mason, a transfer from Northern Kentucky University, a Bowling Green, Kentucky native, played at Bowling Green High School. He's going to wear number 2 for Georgetown this year. The second free throw for Edwards is good. That gives him 5 on the night, and it's a 12-point Kentucky lead. 13-2 start for the Cats here in this second half, just 2 minutes and 30 seconds in. Wales on the right wing being harassed by Antonio Reeves, and really nowhere to go with it. Kyron Jones working now against Trey Mitchell, trying to back Mitchell down. Now faces up, under 10 to shoot. Jones doesn't want the 17-footer, throws it out to Wales near the timeline, 5 seconds to shoot. Not sure Wales recognized it from the right wing. Wales lost it, floater with the shot clock winding down and hits. Jaquay Wales, a 17-footer off of 1 foot. Wales now with 7, 48-38. Georgetown trailing. Wagner down the lane working against Dozier. Had it blocked by both Dozier and Jones, and Wagner touched it last. It's over to Georgetown. Great help defense from Kyron Jones as Wagner was barreling down that left side. That is the 7th block of the night for the Georgetown Tigers. Cam Brooks-Harris brings into the front court, crosses over on Edwards. Brooks-Harris down the lane is fouled going towards the rim, and I love the fact that he continues to attack that rim even with 3 fouls early in the half. Edwards gets, it's going to be Thiero with the foul on the reach-in. That's actually a break for Kentucky. It's just the first foul on Thiero. It would have been Edwards' 3rd. Cam Brooks-Harris steps at the line. One dribble and lets it go, and it's perfect. Sorry to the UK video board operators here. No 2 missed free throws, so no Chick-fil-A for the fans here after that one. Got to miss them both. He didn't do that. In fact, Brooks-Harris made them both. So 2 on the board now for Harris, and Georgetown back within single digits. Brooks-Harris joins Kyron Jones in double figures. He has 10. Reeves for Kentucky on the right wing. Now shuffles it off to Wagner near the midcourt line. Checked by Wales. Georgetown in its customary man-to-man. No zone defense for Georgetown. Rarely does it happen. Reeves on the left side, crosses over on Mason, back to Wagner, 10 seconds to shoot. Wagner hands it off to Mitchell straight away. He'll let a 3-point go, and it is good. He was some 3 feet behind the line. Kyron Jones didn't put a hand up. I can't blame him for that. He was so far behind. Kentucky pressures in the backcourt. Wales just gets it across the timeline with about 1.5 seconds to spare. Left side, Mason to the left corner, and Kyron Jones working against Mitchell, trying to work baseline. Jones in the lane, skip past right side. Wales doesn't want the right wing 3. Now feeds it to Mason on the high block, working against Reeves. Mason floating away from 8, got bumped. Dozier tried to catch it and turn 180 in midair and put it in and left it short. Adu Thiero has it in the front court for Georgetown, or for Kentucky. Shovels it off. Antonio Reeves' 3 is good. And we're going to get a timeout here for Georgetown, as what Georgetown could not afford, what you were afraid what might come early in the second half has indeed come. Kentucky on a big run here to start the second half. A 19-6 spurt for the Wildcats. 15:38 to go in the ball game, and it's Kentucky 54, Georgetown 40 here on the Tigers YouTube channel. Antonio Reeves is 2 of 4 from three-point range, 7 of 12 overall. He leads everybody in the game with 16 points. And his three-pointing prowess here has sent Georgetown into a timeout with the Tigers trailing 54-40, 15:38 to go in the ballgame. Kyron Jones leads the way in scoring for Georgetown. He has 11 points, 6 rebounds. Cam Brooks-Harris, 10 points and 5 boards. Tay Dozier struggling thus far on the night. He's just 1 of 7 from the floor and just 4 points in total. That size and that strength really bothering him to this point. Still a lot of time, though, for Georgetown. And again, a game like this, you're just wanting to put on a good showing for yourself and your program. This is obviously the toughest competition you're going to face all season long. And like we talked about with Coach Thornton at halftime, the last time Georgetown was in this arena, in this environment, was 2019. The Tigers lost that one, I believe, 76-51, if my memory serves me correctly. And, of course, Georgetown went on to win the national championship out in Kansas City. So you take away from this the experience that all of these Kentucky natives get here in Rupp Arena. You've got 11 players on this Georgetown roster that call the Commonwealth home. And so, I'm sure you have to think growing up, so many of them dreamt of playing in an environment like this here in Rupp Arena. Now they're getting that opportunity. And as we said, and Coach Thornton put it very well, the fact that they've been attacking, they've been willing to go at Kentucky all night long. And you're hanging in still. And again, plenty of time left in the game. But you do like the fight that Georgetown has showed throughout this one. And I think that's something that Chris Briggs is going to take away more than anything else. Several key returnees, obviously, off of last year's Georgetown team that reached the Fab Four. Your only losses from last year were Jake Omer and Drew Lamont. So I think the big question for Georgetown going into this year is where's that perimeter shooting going to come from for the Tigers? Still got a long way to go in the year to figure that out. Tonight, thus far, Georgetown just 1 of 8 from three-point range. You want to look at it on the other side, Tigers still shooting 50% inside the arc. Out of the timeout, Brooks-Harris will inbound on the end line, and Kentucky's going to put some full-court pressure on, and Brooks-Harris has his pass knocked away by DJ Wagner. And, hey, guess what? 1 second, Chris Briggs says, I forgot about the NCAA rules. We now have a media timeout on the floor. 15:37 to go. We're glad you're staying with us for that intense 1 second of action. It's still Kentucky 54, Georgetown 40. So the fun thing is, one of the fun things is that during that last full timeout for Georgetown, the Kentucky cheerleading squad came out here and also the dance squad here performed their routine for the fans here. And so when the play resumes, the horn sounds, you got to get off the floor. Well, 1 second of game action later, Kentucky cheer and dance are right back out on the floor. So they're getting their steps in here tonight. Of course, if you know anything about Kentucky cheerleading, it is the bluest of blue bloods in terms of cheerleading prowess. 24 national championships for this University of Kentucky cheerleading squad. And I can see a lot of them, a little bit of extra glow to their faces as they've worked up a sweat here in front of the crowd here at Rupp Arena. Looking up to our right up here in section 236, a strong contingent of orange and black. I believe that's the Georgetown student section that has made their presence felt here.
I was trying to figure out because a couple of my girls said, see it.
Yeah, Thomas Thornton is telling me a few of his softball players said they were going to be here. Of course, I don't know if Thomas didn't bring binoculars with him, so he can't see that far up to confirm it. We'll just have to take their word for it. They're good, upstanding young ladies. They would never do anything dishonest to their coach. We'll just assume, you folks at home can just assume he nodded with me in agreement. 54-40, Kentucky leads Georgetown here in the second half of action at Rupp Arena in this exhibition. Again, Georgetown will start its regular season march this Sunday at Davis Reed Alumni Gym. Virginia Lynchburg comes back to Davis Reed Alumni Gym for the second time in as many years. That tip will be at 1 p.m. here on the Georgetown Tigers YouTube channel. Make sure to stay tuned to GeorgetownCollegeAthletics.com. It is a jam-packed weekend here. Of course, the Georgetown women 2-0 after wins the last 2 days. Georgetown football with a monster game tomorrow as they host 7th-ranked Lindsey Wilson. A 2:30 kickoff at Toyota Stadium. We'll have that for you here on the Georgetown YouTube channel. Major playoff implications there for the Tigers. That'll be tomorrow. Out of the timeout, Brooks Harris fires a high pass off the hands of Jones. Justin Edwards has it for Kentucky. Lost it on the way, trying to throw a lob inside, and now a foul's going to be called against Adu Thiero. It looked like he and Brooks Harris were battling for a ball in the air, a loose ball, and the fans here don't like it. As the officials say, Thiero got Brooks Harris on the arm. So it'll be Georgetown ball on the end line. Kentucky comes with that full court pressure again. Brooks Harris will be checked by Thiero, and he will move into the front court as Georgetown will get set up for the first time. It feels like a long time. Brooks Harris, awkward handoff to Wales, who's now matched up with Thiero on the switch. And boy, you talk about a size mismatch. 6'8" Adu Thiero against 5'11" Jaquay Wales. Jones on the right baseline had it deflected on the way up, trying to work against Mitchell. It bounced off the shoulder of Thiero and out. Stays with Georgetown. 7.7 on the shot clock. 15-10 to go in the ball game. Quick inbound to Jones, back to Wales, fakes the three-pointer. Brooks Harris around a curl, right wing three. Good! Brooks Harris falling toward the Georgetown bench, knocks it down. Brooks Harris now with a team-high 13. It's just the second three-pointer made for the night for the Tigers, and it's 54-43 with just over 5 minutes gone by here in the second half. Wagner at the top, crosses between the legs, trying to go left hand now against Wales. Pull up from 12 is good. Not much Wales can do there. Wagner is a guy with all kinds of expectations in this season. He is a difficult matchup for Jaquay Wales. And just rose over the top and knocked down the mid-range. Here is Wales at the top for Georgetown into the front court. Brooks Harris fakes the screen, moves away. Wagner gets caught trying to reach around Wales and poke the ball loose. It'll be the third foul against Wagner. 14:24 to go on the game clock. And we'll have substitutions. Rashad Bishop coming in for Georgetown. Will take the place of Isaiah Mason. And for Kentucky, Rob Dillingham, Jordan Burks, and Reed Shepard all in as Wagner, Thiero, and Edwards will get a breather. Brooks Harris standing right in front of me. I'm stunned he has not turned around to talk to me at all. Cam Brooks Harris, as gregarious a young man as you could ask for, a great young man to talk to if you ever get the chance here at Georgetown. Here he is off the left-hand curl, working against Reeves. Step back, three, and he is fouled, and he will shoot three as Reeves caught him on the right wrist. I was surprised Brooks Harris let it go, and I think Reeves was a little surprised too because there was not much space to operate in either case. Cam Brooks Harris will be at the free throw line, I believe, to shoot three. They may look at this and see if he possibly had a foot on the line and to see if it was only a long two-pointer. So we'll have a brief pause in the action here while one of our officials heads across the way in order to check the monitor. Again, checking to see whether the shot from Brooks Harris was a two-pointer or a three-pointer. Couldn't tell from where we were. 4 large feet in front of us, and it will be ruled a three-point shot for Brooks. So 3 free throws coming for the senior out of Zanesville, Ohio. First free throw, perfect. Leaning back a little bit like he thought it was going to be short. A rare sign of a, if you want to call it a lack of confidence for Cam Brooks Harris. Second free throw's good. It's one thing Cam Brooks Harris is never short for his confidence. He'll let you know if he's feeling good. He will say if he's not feeling good, but it won't last too long. He goes 3 for 3 at the line. And Georgetown sticking with it. They've absorbed the early Kentucky run, and now the Tigers within 10. 14-15 to go in the game. Reeves Harris bounces off of Jones. Jump shot, no good. Burks had it, and is slapped away by Brooks Harris. And I think Cam Brooks Harris just picked up his 4th foul, and he did. And Chris Briggs is saying, what are we supposed to do? Are we just not supposed to try to contest that rebound? But with four fouls on Cam Brooks Harris, Chris Briggs, at least for this sequence, he's going to have to leave him in because Tommy Thomas just now got to the scorer's table. Dillingham inside to Mitchell. On the right block, working against Kyron Jones. Hook shot from 8, well short. Wales lost it, and Dillingham has it. Slipped right through the hands of Wales. Kentucky gets a fresh 20. Dillingham has it straight away. Gets the handoff from Mitchell to the far corner. Reed Shepard with the blow by of Dozier. Skips the pass. Right wing. Reeves. 3. No. Dozier has it. And he'll advance it forward to Jaquay Wales. Wales steps in transition. His 3 is way too strong. Not a good shot there from Jaquay Wales. Antonio Reeves, though, threw it out of bounds as good backcourt pressure from Brooks Harris and Dozier brings us to a Georgetown possession once again. Tommy Thomas checks in now for Brooks Harris. It'll be 20 seconds for the Tigers to shoot. So be curious to see in this exhibition how long Chris Briggs will leave Cam Brooks Harris on the bench with those 4 fouls. Dozier to inbound. Nowhere to go with it, and it finally slips into Bishop at the last second. Bishop finds it right back to Dozier. Slipped in on the baseline and puts it in. Tay Dozier with the bucket, just his second basket of the night, and the Tigers back within single digits. They just have been so unflappable in this game. Dillingham fakes a pass. Now right wing, Mitchell. 3-pointer is good. A little bit of miscommunication there as I think Bishop thought Mitchell would dive inside. He stayed out. Mitchell can knock down that 3-point shot. The West Virginia transfer has a long ball. Wales in front of his head coach across from where we are now moves to the top of the key. Dozier around a curl, stops at the foul line, wanted to pass, takes the 10-footer, no good. And a rebound, Bishop down to the floor, gets it back. Dozier down the lane, a lot of contact, and banker is good for Tay Dozier. Finally starting to get his act together is the redshirt sophomore. Dozier now with a couple of baskets. Georgetown hanging within 9. 12 minutes and 40 seconds to go, and now the half-court trap. Reeves loses out of bounds. It'll stick with Kentucky as Justin Edwards comes into the game, replacing Antonio Reeves. Reeves heads out, and we'll see who Kentucky goes to now, especially for the 3-point shooting. Reed Shepard is the man with ball in hand. He can definitely fill that void with Reeves on the bench. Right wing, Dillingham has it. Bullet pass, top of the key. Reed Shepard, 3 is well short. Burks out jumps Rashad Bishop for the offensive glass. Dillingham around a screen from Mitchell, working against Jones. Shuffles it off. Trey Mitchell wide open. Right wing 3, no good. Dozier has the rebound, but a whistle inside. And I think a foul's going to get called against Georgetown inside. And I think they got Rashad Bishop on a push away from the rebound. That is 4 fouls now on Rashad Bishop. So Brooks Harris on the bench with 4. Bishop stays in the game momentarily with 4. Shepard inbounds it to Dillingham. Now Mitchell straight away. Mitchell wanted Shepard on the back door. Wasn't there. Now Dillingham top of the key. Being switched on to by Jones. Dillingham underneath and just threw it off of Jones. He dribbled himself into no man's land. 10 seconds to shoot. And it looks like Georgetown will bring Aiden Niken off the bench. This will be the first action for the redshirt freshman from Glasgow, Kentucky. Georgetown has to get smaller, has no choice. They have to go smaller. Nobody left on the bench with the size of Brooks Harris and Bishop, so Niken comes in. Dillingham around a screen from Mitchell. 15-footer, fall away. He bounces every bit of the rim and goes in. Are you kidding me? Soft touch for Dillingham. He now has 7. Under 12 minutes to go, 61-50 in favor of Kentucky. Wales between the legs being checked by Reed Shepard. Dozier stops at the left elbow, gives it back to Wales straight away. Jones setting the screen. Wales left side reverses to Niken. Niken working against Trey Mitchell. Kyron Jones inside being double teamed by Shepard and Dillingham and lost it. Edwards comes away with it. In the backcourt, Dillingham now moves forward. Sprinting into the front court. Leans in, Mitchell kicks it out. Shepard, corner 3, no. Edwards tried the tip, no good. Pulled down by Dozier, and he spins away from Shepard, and Shepard gets called trying to reach around and poke away again, and Reed Shepard will pick up his first foul, leading us to a timeout. An up-and-down pace continues here at Rupp Arena. Georgetown still hanging tough with 11:16 to go. The Tigers trail the Wildcats 61-50 here on the Georgetown YouTube channel. Kentucky video board operators running what they call the hunk cam, H-U-N-K cam. If they don't show Thomas Thornton, what are we doing? That's all I'm saying. Somebody up on the board now just looked like they were barely awake. And it looks like Scratch, the secondary Kentucky mascot, is trolling for Taylor Swift likes with his I Love TS shirt. Maybe even I Love Tigers softball. That's what we'll go with. They still haven't shown Thomas on the video board, and again, I'm gonna get a hold of the Kentucky staff here and say, yeah, this is unacceptable. We got to get Thomas up on the hunk cam. I don't think we're gonna get it, Coach. This is egregious. Anywho, 11:16 to go. Yeah, Thomas, I'm gonna send an email to somebody on Monday. I can promise you that. We're gonna get this righted. 61-50, Kentucky leads Georgetown here at Rupp Arena. And again, make sure to stay tuned with us after the game. We intend to talk to Georgetown head coach Chris Briggs and kind of get his thoughts on things. Now we got a dance-off on the board. Thomas, I don't want you doing any part of that. Somebody dressed up as an 8-year-old dressed up as Where's Waldo. I think he won. Nevertheless, GeorgetownCollegeAthletics.com. That's where you need to go to stay up on all the latest Tiger athletics. It's been a busy weekend for us here at Georgetown College. If you've been following us, you know how busy it's been. As we said earlier, tomorrow the action keeps going on the gridiron. The 9th-ranked Georgetown College Tigers take on the 7th-ranked Blue Raiders of Lindsey Wilson. And the game will have major Mid-South title implications as well as NAIA playoff implications with the new playoff format this season. Again, we'll have that for you here tomorrow on the Georgetown Tigers YouTube channel. Men's basketball in action on Sunday against Virginia Lynchburg. The Georgetown women back in action this coming Monday at Davis Reed Alumni Gym. They're going to take on Wilberforce, who is now no longer part of the Mid-South Conference. They are this year an NAIA independent. Next year, they're going to go to the Gulf Coast Athletic Conference. Back to action. Jaquay Wales has the ball advancing into the front court. He'll be guarded by Rob Dillingham, Kentucky, in its customary man-to-man. Neither John Calipari nor Chris Briggs like that zone defense if they can help it. Kyron Jones, right wing, trying to step through Thiero and had the shot blocked, and Shepard comes away with it for Kentucky. Thiero, long ball up ahead and too strong for Jordan Burks, too high for Jordan Burks, and that pass will spring DJ Wagner off the bench, and it'll send Adu Thiero to the bench, and that's a one-sided conversation Thiero will have with John Calipari. 10:55 remaining here at Rupp Arena. I continue to be impressed with the resolve that Georgetown is showing in this one. Could have been very easy for the Tigers to just pack it in when Kentucky went on that big run to start the second half, but they have weathered the storm, and they are right now within 11. Jaquay Wales with the ball in hand can get the Tigers within single digits. Kyron Jones stops at the foul line. Jumper, yes! Burks laid off thinking Jones was going to drive. Jones knocks down the mid-range. Kyron Jones now with 13. Georgetown back within single digits at 61-52. Dillingham down the lane. Wales went for the strip. Dillingham muscles through and lays it home. Rob Dillingham now with 9 to go along with 3 assists, right back to an 11-point lead. Kentucky has backed off its full court pressure for now. Wales gets it into the front court just ahead of a 10-second call. Dillingham guards him. Wales with the left hand shuffles it to Kyron Jones, top of the key. Tommy Thomas comes to get it at the top. Thomas will be checked by Justin Edwards. On a switch, Jones being matched up against DJ Wagner. This is a matchup Jones has to win. Double team comes, trying to slip a pass around to Dozier, was on the baseline. Burks went down to the floor to get it, but he was on the end line. And they're determining whether Burks had possession. They're going to say he did not, and so the Tigers are going to get this back as Mitchell comes in for Edwards for Kentucky. Georgetown will have the ball with just 2 seconds to get a shot up. Dozier will inbound. And again, got to get something up quick. And he's trying to find somebody to get in. Can't do it. Tommy Thomas, 17-footer with the shot clock winding down. Hits the back iron. No good. Mitchell has the rebound for Kentucky. Pushes it forward to Wagner in transition. Wagner, top of the key, hands it off to Shepard. Now back to Wagner. Wagner, mismatch up top against Kyron Jones. Now a switch. Aiden Niken will take Wagner. Wagner with the blow-by with the right hand from 10. No good. Kyron Jones has his 7th rebound, but he lost the ball as he brought it down. Mitchell poked it away and laid it in. Jones lost sight of Mitchell inside, and Trey Mitchell now joins Reeves in double figures with 11. 9:20 to go in the game, 65-52, and now Dillingham picks up a cheap foul as he knocks Dozier down some 35 feet away from the basket. It'll be Dillingham's second. Seventh foul against Kentucky, and so Tay Dozier will go to the line for a 1-on-1. He had a 1-on-1 chance at the end of the first half to put Georgetown ahead, but missed the front end of the opportunity. Now moving on the opposite side of the floor. Dozier's played better here in the second half. Free throw is perfect. He now has 9 to go along with 4 points, or 4 rebounds, I should say, 3 assists and 1 steal. One more coming for the Butler High School graduate out of Louisville. One dribble, and the release is perfect. So Dozier now joins Brooks, Harris, and Jones for Georgetown in double figures. 65-54, Kentucky leads. 9 minutes and 15 seconds to go in this exhibition contest. Wagner now checked by Tay Dozier in the front court. Gets a screen from Mitchell, now switch. Wales on Wagner. Wagner went for the elbow jumper, rejected by Tay Dozier. And Wales comes into the front court. Wales double teamed at the left wing, gives it up to Tommy Thomas. That is the 8th block of the night. Thomas, wild shot inside, tap off the glass, no good. Third try for Thomas, no good. It's tapped out of bounds. They're going to say it's over to Kentucky, and I disagree with this vehemently. Mitchell had it, and it knocked out of bounds by Dillingham. And instead, it's going to be Kentucky ball, and the officials don't even consult about it. That is a missed call, and Chris Briggs can do nothing but laugh. A sarcastic laugh on that one, as that was clearly off of Kentucky. Mitchell fakes a 3 at the top of the key and throws it right to Jaquay Wales, so ball don't lie. Wales into the front court on the right wing to Niken down the lane, lost the dribble, over to Kyron Jones, 15-footer, no on the baseline. Dozier went for a tap in. He was well below the rim on that. Should have just grabbed it with 2 hands and gone right back up. Shepard in transition for Kentucky, bounces off of Niken, right wing to Wagner. Wagner down the lane, foul inside, and a blocking foul is going to be called against Tommy Thomas as Wagner extended the right arm off, but instead Thomas will be the guilty party. It'll be his second team foul of the night. 6th foul in the half for Georgetown. Subs coming in, Justin Edwards in for Jordan Burks for Kentucky. And for Georgetown, Isaiah Mason will replace Tay Dozier. It looks like Gavin Stevens will come in for the first time for Georgetown. And he will replace Kyron Jones. Jabrion Spikes gets some action now for the Tigers. He'll replace Tommy Thomas. So a much smaller lineup for Georgetown right now. In fact, Georgetown's going to go full sail change. Let's just do a whole platoon change. Seth Johnson now comes in, and so now the tallest player on the floor for Georgetown is 6'5" Gavin Stevens, as Chris Briggs trying to go deeper into his bench and give other guys opportunity here in this second half. Mitchell inside, going to work against Stevens. Mitchell with the left hand over 2 Tigers, laid it in. Johnson tried to come over and give help late, but just not enough size right now for Georgetown on the floor, with Brooks, Harris, and Bishop on the bench, each with 4 fouls. 8 minutes to go here in Rupp Arena. Gavin Stevens at the top. Now to Jabrion Spikes. Spikes can handle the strength of Wagner. In fact, blew right by him, but missed the lay-in. Deflection finds its way to Aiden Niken, and Niken lays it in. Wagner quickly in transition off the window, no good. Edwards with the tip. It's one thing a lot of pundits believe this Kentucky team can do as the season goes along is put points on the board. The defense might be a work in progress as things go forward. 69-56, 7:25 to go. Jabrion Spikes rips it away from Wagner, who went for the steal. Now on a mismatch, Spikes going against Mitchell. Now they settle back in. Spikes right by Wagner, whose Olay defense didn't want to pick up a 4th foul, and Spikes, that strong upper body, lays it in. First points for Spikes. Dillingham working against Seth Johnson. Left-hand pass to Edwards. Back to Dillingham at the top. Mitchell on the left wing. He'll let a 3 go. Over Stevens is good. Trey Mitchell coming on strong here in the second half. He now has 18 in total And it's a 72-58 lead. 13 here in the half for Mitchell. Gavin Stevens trying to drive on Mitchell, lost it. Dillingham into the front court, 3-on-2 for Kentucky. Dillingham blows right by Mason for the lay-in. And this is maybe the run that finally breaks this game open in favor of Kentucky. 74-58. Kentucky leads. 6:20 to go here at Rupp Arena. Spikes on the left-hand side, wants to challenge Wagner again. Here's Seth Johnson through the lane. Stop at the 10-foot line. Out to Gavin Stevens. Clicks the heels. Three-pointer, no good off the back iron. Edwards rips down the weak side board for Kentucky. Dillingham, bullet pass across the way. Shepard down the baseline and a whistle. And a foul is going to be called against Niken on the drive. It'll be Niken's first. It brings us to a timeout on the floor. 6 minutes and 3 seconds to go. Kentucky starting to stretch that lead out here in this exhibition contest against Georgetown. It's a 74-58 Wildcats lead. Kentucky had just 18 points in the paint in all of the first half. They've matched that to this point here in the second half, and there's still 6:03 to go, particularly led by the efforts of Trey Mitchell, who's really been doing it from all areas in the second half. Mitchell has been really, really strong for Kentucky here in the half. Looking at the numbers, Mitchell 5 of 7 here in the second half and 13 points to lead Kentucky here in the half. The Wildcats shooting 53% for the half and also 5 of 10 from downtown. Mitchell 3 of 4 from downtown here in the half. Antonio Reeves is 2 for 4. Meanwhile, on the other side for Georgetown here in the second half, Cam Brooks Harris has 8, Tay Dozier with 6. The Tigers shooting just 40% from the field and only have taken three three-pointers. They've connected on just 1. The Tigers are though, 7 for 7 at the charity stripe. You do like to see that from the Georgetown Tigers. 74-58. Georgetown trailing, and a whole host of changes for the Tigers coming out of the timeout. So I'll just give you the reset on the floor. Cam Brooks Harris and Rashad Bishop return, each with 4 fouls. Tay Dozier stays on the floor. And Jaquay Wales and Kyron Jones return to the action for the Georgetown Tigers. And now they're tantalizing us with that famous Rupp Arena soft serve ice cream up top. Just cruel and unusual punishment for those who have access to that right now. But nevertheless, we're having a good time here courtside at Rupp Arena. Certainly glad you've chosen to listen to the Georgetown side of things here at Rupp. And again, stay tuned after the game. We hope to hear from head coach Chris Briggs here on our live stream. And our thanks to the entire Kentucky staff here for being so hospitable and so welcoming to us. Not only us as a broadcast crew, but our entire college, giving our basketball program this opportunity to play and the exposure that this is going to bring to Georgetown College. You just can't put into words. So our thanks to the entire Kentucky athletic department for putting this together as Reed Shepard out of the timeout hits the first free throw of a 1-and-1. Shepard now up to 8 points. Make it 9. Not a surprise, given his genetics, that he can shoot free throws. The net didn't move on either one of those attempts. 76-58, Kentucky leads, under 6 minutes to go. Kyron Jones at the top being challenged by Thiero, trying to hand off to Wales. Shepard denies. Now Dozier comes to get it, being matched by Reeves. Wales straight away, doesn't want the three, trying to get it to Jones on the far block. Now to Brooks Harris. Cam Brooks Harris shovels between the legs. Three-pointer, perfect. Cam Brooks Harris putting on a good showing for himself here at Rupp Arena. He now has 19 to lead all scorers. 76-61. He's nailed both of his three-point tries. Reeves got free for Kentucky and fires an air ball. And, of course, the customary wipes his hands on the shorts because, and you can understand why, for a shooter the prowess of Antonio Reeves, something had to happen there. Tigers will take it, though. 5:10 to go. Wales dribbles between the legs into the front court. Jones at the top again, being matched up by Thiero. Dozier around a screen. Thought about a three, doesn't take it of it. Tries to slip a pass through Thiero and Reeves. That'll never work at this level. Shepard in transition. The lob and the slam for Justin Edwards. And wow, did he get up above that rim. That pass from Tay Dozier will work against virtually any opponent the Tigers will see in the NAIA. That will not work here at this level. Brooks Harris tries a three. It is blocked by Edwards, but Edwards got body contact, and Cam Brooks Harris, for the second time in this half, will shoot 3 free throws. They're showing that replay of that dunk from Edwards on the video board, and my goodness, what an athlete Justin Edwards is. And it's no wonder why NBA scouts are salivating at his prospects down the road. Cam Brooks Harris steps to the line. First free throw rattles out. First miss of the night for Brooks Harris. He's 7 for 8. Second free throw for Brooks Harris as the crowd's getting loud here because the video board told him to. The free throw is good. Brooks Harris now with 20. One more here for this Zanesville, Ohio native. Good. So 2 out of 3 for Harris at the line. Brooks Harris at the line. 21 to lead all scorers, and Georgetown back within 15 with 4:40 to go. Reed Shepard hustles into the front court. Now Georgetown shows a bit of a trap, now backs off. A mismatch here at the top. Justin Edwards going against Gway Wales, and Georgetown's going to have to find a way to get that corrected. Instead, Trey Mitchell down the lane. Rashad Bishop trying to draw a charge. Not going to happen. He was falling backwards anyway. Mitchell got it off to Thiero for the lay-in. Thiero now with 9 on the night. And Bishop, not sure if he wanted to get all of that body contact there and was falling backwards. Brooks Harris, quick three off the front iron. He was falling away, gets his own rebound, though, as nobody from Kentucky came to get it. Wales down the baseline. He's bumped by Justin Edwards. That is the 4th on Edwards. Unsurprisingly, Jaquay Wales at 5'11" and just 170 pounds goes flying off that shoulder bump. The 4th foul against Justin Edwards, and the team's 9th brings us to a timeout on the floor. A free throw opportunity coming for Jaquay Wales on the other side of a break. Exactly 4 minutes to go here in Rupp Arena. And Kentucky leading Georgetown 80-63. Back in a moment. On U of K from the Kentucky Pep Band here to the crowd at Rupp Arena. Some of them starting to head out for the night with Kentucky comfortably ahead of Georgetown at this point, 80-63. Cool opportunity coming for Georgetown fans, though. On November the 14th, the Kentucky women's team is actually going to play a regular season game at Davis-Reed Alumni Gym. Memorial Coliseum undergoing renovations. Rupp Arena not available tonight. So again, Tuesday, November 14th, Kentucky women's basketball will come to Davis-Reed Alumni Gym. They're going to take on Austin Peay that night. And so a unique opportunity for fans in the Georgetown area to see Big Blue coming to Georgetown. Again, Kentucky women's basketball on November 14th against Austin Peay. That game being played at Davis-Reed Alumni Gym in Georgetown. Cam Brooks-Harris, an official's nearby, so Cam Brooks-Harris is going to initiate conversation there. Friendly conversation, just getting some clarification on things. Jaquay Wales steps at the foul line. It'll be 1-1 for Wales. 7 points on the night for the senior out of Louisville. Free throw's good. It can be nerve-wracking here in this arena shooting free throws, but I'm going to tell you, the Tigers have done a nice job at it with one more free throw here coming from Wales. That one is short, but it's just the 4th missed free throw for Georgetown on 19 tries. So you got to like that going forward for Georgetown. Knock down free throws when it matters. Georgetown went for a triple team. Reeves finds it, and he's bumped in the lane, and that's going to be 5 fouls on Rashad Bishop. Just trying to wall up, and body contact is made, and Bishop has fouled out. He will leave with 6 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 blocks. And now Chris Briggs will send Tommy Thomas onto the floor to take the place of Rashad Bishop. Bishop getting a hand from his teammates, coaches, and the Georgetown contingent, a few of them behind the Tigers bench across the way from where we are. Antonio Reeves will step to the line for a 1-and-1 opportunity. He has traditionally been a very good free throw shooter, and he hits the first here. Point number 17 for Reeves, the senior guard out of Chicago. Flirted with the NBA, flirted with the transfer portal as well, but ultimately chose to return here to Lexington for one more run. Second free throw rattles home, and Reeves will now head out and be replaced by Justin Edwards. Don't know if that'll be the last time we see Reeves here tonight. He'll get a hand from the Rupp Arena crowd and from his teammates on the bench. Thomas has the inbound, gives it back to Wales as Georgetown takes possession. 82-64 as Kentucky went on that big run early in the half. Georgetown stayed the course, but Kentucky gradually pulled away. Jaquay Wales, a floater on the baseline, is good, and the foul. Wagner gets called for the push. It'll be 4 on DJ Wagner, but an impressive finish from Jaquay Wales on the right baseline. And Jaquay Wales, now the 4th Tiger into double figures on the night. He has 10. Dozier with 10, Jones with 13. Brooks-Harris leads all scorers with 21. And the free throw banged home for Wales. 11 now for the senior, 82-67 with 3:40 to go here in Lexington. Edwards across the lane. Cam Brooks-Harris had the ball in his hands, and it squirted through. It'll stick with the Wildcats as Edwards is trying to find Burks underneath the basket. Wagner inbound on the Kentucky end line. And he'll do so to Burks, who handles it right back to Wagner. Wagner down the lane, straight away. Dillingham takes a three-pointer. It's good. Dillingham now with 14, and it's up to an 18-point Kentucky lead with 3:15 remaining in the ballgame. Wales at the top. Now on the right wing, switch with the arrow. Brooks-Harris about 5 feet behind the three-point line. Jones felt a double team coming. Kicks it right wing. Wales, extra pass. Tommy Thomas, no, but he is fouled. Another instance of Kentucky fouling a Georgetown three-point shooter. Dillingham gets called for his third. It'll be Tommy Thomas going to the line, shooting 3. Tough night from the floor for Thomas. He's just 1 of 6. I got to tell you, though, I had a chance to talk with Tommy Thomas, an extended conversation not too long ago. As likable of a young man as you would like, as he hits the first free throw. He had a long journey to get to Georgetown College. Lost his aunt who raised him when he was a junior in high school. It really tested his faith. And he has come through on the other side a stronger man, a more positive man as he hits the second free throw. And in fact, just earlier this summer at a Consolidated Baptist Church in Lexington, took it upon himself to get himself baptized. That's how far his faith has come along in his journey throughout Georgetown. The third free throw here is not there for Thomas, but if you ever get a chance to talk to him, he is as likable a young man and someone you want to root for in the long term. Kentucky has the ball. Dillingham knocks down a 17-footer. 87-69, Dillingham up to 18 points. Wales across the way, trying to work against Wagner. Now gets a screen from Jones. Wales, elbow floater, no good. Wagner pulls down the rebound, and he'll run with Dillingham. Dillingham right side, knocked away by Brooks Harris. Good job by Brooks Harris to slow it without fouling, and now Dillingham throws it away to Dozier. Georgetown running. Brooks Harris down the lane, left corner. Tommy Thomas, three, no, off the back iron. Kyron Jones taps it, but DJ Wagner had it into the front court. It's tapped away to the Kentucky end line. The last touch by Tommy Thomas. It'll be Kentucky ball with 2:12 to go, and Wales a little gimpy as he took a spill near the midcourt line. He's given a thumbs up to Chris Briggs, and that is the absolute last thing you want in an exhibition, let alone with just 2:12 to go in said exhibition. Wales hobbling just a bit on that left foot. Mitchell returns for Kentucky, replacing Burks. 87-69. Kentucky has the ball with 20 to shoot and 2:12 to go in the ball game. Trey Mitchell takes the inbound from Wagner. Faces up against Jones just inside the three-point line on the left side. Mitchell trying to back his way down. Dozier comes to the double team. Knocked away. Mitchell got it back inside. Thiero pump fakes, and the second ever draws a foul against Georgetown. It'll be against Cam Brooks Harris, and that will be the end of the night for Cam Brooks Harris. He didn't think the foul was on him. Well, if you ask Cam Brooks Harris, he's never committed a foul in his life. He will foul out, and he's going to get a nice hand even from some Kentucky fans here. 21 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 blocks for the senior. He put on a strong showing here in front of this partisan Kentucky crowd. Isaiah Mason will take his place. Joey Hart now comes in for Kentucky. He gets a nice hand from the crowd. Justin Edwards heads out, likely the last time he is on the floor tonight. Edwards likely done with 9 points and 8 boards. Adu Thiero at the line. Shooting 2, the first free throw, a line drive. It's the front iron. Second free throw is good. 88-69. Kentucky's just slowly broken this game open. They had that big run early to start the second half that kind of pushed out the double digits. And then with about 8 minutes to go, put on the final touches of it as Dozier misses a 17-footer. A scramble forward on the floor. Mitchell comes away with it. And now with 100 seconds to go, Dozier taps the ball out of bounds as Kentucky was trying to get running with Dillingham into the front court. Reed Shepard returns for Kentucky. Javrion spikes in for Georgetown. Jaquay Wales heads out. Still looks like he's a little sore on that foot, but gets a nice hand. A really good second half for Wales. He'll finish the night with 11 points. Shepard into the front court. Shepard got away with a walk as he picked up the dribble. Dillingham now to Hart on the baseline. Joey Hart rejected by Kyron Jones, who just took it off the hands of Hart. Thomas, lob into the fourth row. Was looking for Tay Dozier, and Chris Briggs nearly collapsed to the floor. That's as much physical emotion as I've ever seen from Chris Briggs, and I've seen him all 13 years he's been the Tigers head coach. Shepard in the front court, 1:15 to go. Roll pass inside. Mitchell has the lay-in. Mitchell now with 20. Reed Shepard gets the assist, his second assist on the night. 90-69. 1 minute to go in the ball game. Jones at the top. Hand off to Mason, being checked by Hart. Isaiah Mason, right wing, working against Mitchell. He'll let a three-pointer fly off the back iron, and Thiero corrals the long rebound to the front court, 1-on-3. Thomas tried to draw a charge, didn't happen. Mitchell skips the pass from left side to right. Now straight away, Joey Hart. Three-pointer off the back iron. Shepard gets it back after the rebound from Mitchell, and Kentucky will back it out and start burning clock a little bit. 30 seconds to go in the game, 13 on the shot clock. Mitchell takes a deflected pass. He'll slam it down. And Mitchell now with 22 points and 9 rebounds. An impressive second half for Mitchell. 17 here in the half. 20 seconds to play. The shot clock is off. Spikes trying to cross over on Thiero. Stops at the mid-range. Skips the pass far right side to Tommy Thomas. 12 seconds to go. Tommy Thomas down the lane. Try the no-look feed. I think it deflected last. They'll say it deflected last off of Mitchell. I thought it was off of Spikes. It'll be Tiger basketball with 7 seconds. Kyron Jones, left wing. Mitchell will let him have the three. It is no good. Dillingham pulls down the rebound, and that will do it. John Calipari telling Chris Briggs across the way that was a really good game from the Tigers, and I agree with him. Georgetown accosted themselves very, very well here at Rupp Arena. The final score not really going to indicate how the Tigers played in this one. Remember, Georgetown trailed just 35-34 at the break before Kentucky really turned on the afterburners in the second half. Kentucky defeats Georgetown in this exhibition contest by a 92-69 final as the teams go through the handshake line. We'll take a break, and when we come back, some final numbers. And again, we hope to hear from head coach Chris Briggs and perhaps a Georgetown player as well. That's all coming up here on the Georgetown Tigers YouTube channel. Had a Kentucky fan ask us for a Sharpie, I think, to try to get an autograph or two maybe from John Calipari after the game. Actually asked if he wanted to buy it off me. I said it's a Sharpie. Here, take it. We're not going to. We like to provide nice hospitality on the Georgetown behalf of things as the Kentucky band plays the traditional My Old Kentucky Home at the end of each Wildcats game here at Rupp Arena. Kentucky with a 92-69. Kentucky wins 92-69. Again, the second half, the early going in the second half really made the difference in this ball game. That really broke things open. And Georgetown hung tough. Kentucky's talent just gradually took things over in the second half, and I think you got to be proud of that if you're the Georgetown Tigers. The fact that you didn't let Kentucky go on a monstrous run to really smash this thing wide open. It was more of a gradual type of night and a gradual type of pulling away of sorts for Kentucky in this one. And so we'll hope to be joined by Chris Briggs here courtside, and perhaps Cam Brooks Harris. I think he's definitely the Georgetown star of the game for the night that he turned in. a really good showing here for Cam Brooks Harris here as I'm taking a look at the final numbers here for Cam. 21 points, 7 rebounds, 9 of 10 from the foul line. He was 5 of 10 overall, 2 for 6 from three-point range. Kyron Jones finished with 13 points and 8 rebounds on the night. He also had 2 blocks. 8 blocks for Kentucky on the night. That is really, really impressive. Only 4 for Kentucky. 8 blocks for Georgetown, just 4 for Kentucky. Again, Kentucky did not have the services of Ugana Onyenso and Aaron Bradshaw here tonight. And Zvonimir Ivicic is still waiting a clearance from the NCAA to play. And so, thus, he's not in game action at all for Kentucky right now. But Aaron Bradshaw, Ugana Onyenso out. And I think that probably played into a few things into Georgetown's favor in this one. A much closer matchup in terms of size than what could have been. I still have flashbacks to the exhibition Kentucky played against Georgetown back in the 2014-2015 season. That was the year Kentucky went 38-1, had the platoons, Karl Anthony Towns, Devin Booker, that whole team, and they won against Georgetown in dominating fashion. I'm not even going to repeat the score because it was just a big, big night in that one. But nevertheless, that did not happen here. And I think that's going to be a thing that Chris Briggs talks about, is the fact that his team accosted themselves very, very well on a national stage like this in order to show themselves out well. And I think they did that tonight. And I think, if anything, he's going to be proud of the effort his guys had, particularly in that first half. It was a seesaw battle for a lot of that first half. Georgetown had a couple of leads early on. Kentucky came back and, again, led by just 1 at the half. And you think back to that first half. Tay Dozier misses the front end of a 1-and-1. And had he made both those free throws, Georgetown would have actually taken the lead going into the second half. But nevertheless, that didn't happen. That's okay. Those things are going to happen. And so, again, yes, you see the score on your monitor, 92-69 in favor of Kentucky. That's not really the end result you're looking for in an event like this. And you're just looking to see progress. You want to see your team fight. Again, this does not count towards the regular season. So no harm, no foul in playing a game like this. And it's usually about that every 4 to 5 year period that Georgetown gets this opportunity. It's the 4th time these two teams have met in exhibition competition, the 3rd time under Chris Briggs. 2014, 2019, and of course here tonight. Once again, waiting on either Chris Briggs or Cam Brooks Harris. We're hoping to talk to both of them, and I really want to get their thoughts on both of them because they both, I'm sure Cam Brooks Harris will have a lot of thoughts on the way things went tonight on the floor, just that opportunity, but also from Chris Briggs coaching against Kentucky, against his alma mater, for the 3rd time here as the head coach of the Georgetown Tigers. And so still awaiting that. Looking at the final numbers, Georgetown shooting in the second half, really, Kentucky took over in that department. Kentucky shoots 57% in the second half. Georgetown just 36% in the second half. The Tigers just 3 of 16 from downtown. Kentucky, meanwhile, in the second half, went 6 of 13 from downtown, and that really helped break things open. Again, Trey Mitchell was huge in the second half. 17 points. He was 3 of 4 from three-point range, and really made a big difference on the inside there. He also grabbed 4 rebounds for the Cats. He also finished the night with 3 blocks. For the Tigers, and Cam Brooks Harris, 21-7. Kyron Jones, 13-8. Jaquay Wales, 11. Tate Dozier, 10. Rashad Bishop, 6. Tommy Thomas with 4. And Jabrion Spikes and Aiden Niken also getting into the scoring column. 18 Georgetown turnovers leading to 23 Kentucky points. Conversely, Kentucky turning it over 12 times. The Tigers getting 14 points off those turnovers. Second chance points. Love seeing this. 12 all on second chance points, despite the fact Kentucky grabbed 6 more offensive rebounds. I love the fact Georgetown gave up 16 offensive rebounds, but only 12 second chance points. That is a very, very impressive stat. And I got to think Chris Briggs is going to be pretty happy when he looks at that number, particularly to give up so many offensive rebounds, but only 12 points off of those second chances. I think that's really encouraging for his lineup, especially given in the second half that you had Rashad Bishop and Cam Brooks Harris in that foul trouble, and we're saddled in and out of it, in and off the bench because of that foul trouble as things went forward. And so, again, I think if I get a chance here, again, if Chris Briggs joins us out here, which I expect him to. I know he does have a few media obligations to the local media here before he gets out to us, and so we understand that. So, again, we thank you for your patience here, and stand by here. Do want you to be able to hear from the head coach of the Tigers here as they finish off a 92-69 exhibition loss to the University of Kentucky. And we do hope to hear from one of our players as well. I've reached out to see if we could talk to Cam Brooks-Harris. I don't think that request will be turned down in an opportunity like this. In fact, Brooks-Harris may be, in fact, joining Chris Briggs at the media table with the local media, which won't be but a few minutes inside there, a few minutes longer inside, I would imagine. And then Chris Briggs will give way back there to John Calipari to talk about his night. And then we'll hopefully have Chris Briggs and then Cam Brooks-Harris in either order out here to talk tonight. Some fans still sticking around after the fact as John Calipari will come out and do his post-game radio interview with Tom Leach, and he usually signs some autographs for some fans who stick around at that point. And so some fans sticking around, they want to hear from the coach. More than anything else, they want to get some swag signed, and Calipari has always been nice about that throughout the years he has been the head coach at the University of Kentucky. Again, 92-69, the final score. Georgetown falls in the exhibition, outscored by just one in that first half, 35-34. Georgetown led all the way up to the 13:44 point in the first half. So it wasn't just an early quick score off the opening tap, and that was the only lead for Georgetown. That wasn't it at all. The Tigers led by 2 with 13:44 to go in the first half, and then Kentucky took over. Obviously, the Georgetown Tigers hung close for the rest of the half, and then Kentucky went on that run. Early in the second half really was the difference in this one. I'm looking over behind the Georgetown bench. I see assistant coach Rodney Haddix is over there. Pretty much all smiles tonight, but again, this is more about the opportunity. You're not worried about the scoreboard in this one. Yeah, it was obviously fantastic after 20 minutes. You're only down 1 at the break in Rupp Arena for a lot of those kids. For the Tigers, we talked about 11 players on this Georgetown roster are from the Commonwealth. And so I'm sure it was a thrill for them getting into the locker room, seeing that they were only down 1 at the break to the mighty Kentucky Wildcats. And then Kentucky turned it on and really, with its just overall talent and athleticism, really separated themselves. But again, don't hang your head, Tigers fans. This is a really good learning experience for this team. This team is going to be in contention for another national championship at the NAIA level this season. I can promise you that. So many returning pieces from last year. Getting Kyron Jones back, Cam Brooks-Harris, Tate Dozier. I could go down the line. And then you add the likes of Isaiah Mason, the transfer, and then a couple of freshmen that you're gonna get to know quite well as things go forward, but still a long way to go in this season. Again, the Georgetown regular season opener takes place this Sunday, 2 nights from now, 2 days from now, a day and a half from now. Call it what you will. 1 p.m. tip at Davis Reed Alumni Gym. Georgetown will take on Virginia Lynchburg. Those two teams met a year ago in the opener for the Tigers, and Georgetown won that one handily. And so we'll see how Georgetown regathers and reacts to that opportunity to kick off the regular season for Georgetown. Again, still waiting here. I just had to have a quick conversation with an official nearby here. And the folks here are nice enough to set a chair right across from me so that when Chris Briggs and or Cam Brooks-Harris comes out here to talk to us, which hopefully is here in the next few minutes. So again, I do appreciate your patience, folks, sticking with us here on the Georgetown Tigers YouTube channel. Looks like Trey Mitchell might be doing a post-game interview with Goose Givens for the Kentucky Radio Network. And not a surprise there with the half Mitchell had in the second half. Mitchell finishes with 22 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 blocks. Starting to see a few more Tigers trickle out of the locker room. And the fans giving Trey Mitchell a hand, as you can hear in the background. Again, still waiting on Chris Briggs. I think, like I said, I believe he's got some media obligations he has to tend to immediately upon the end of the game. Our wonderful student assistant, Bethany Blair, who's been updating you throughout the night on all of our social media platforms. She is back there and awaiting him to finish that up, and then should be able to come out here and give us a few moments of his time before his team heads back north to Georgetown for the night. Seeing a few more orange and black coming out here. A few fans still sticking around here. Want to congratulate the Tigers on a really good outing here. I see Cam Brooks Harris coming out. I'm trying to see if I can get him over here. He's a popular man, big man on campus tonight for Georgetown. A strong showing. His daughter is here with him. Cam Brooks Harris became a father since we last joined you back in March, and so he's got his baby girl here with him, and so understandably going to take a few moments with her. You love to see that. So hopefully we can talk to him. If not him, we will talk to, or hoping to talk to, head coach Chris Briggs. And again, 92-69, Georgetown finishes the night 40% from the field, 24 out of 60, 3 of 16 from the foul line, 18 of 23 from the stripe. Georgetown grabbed 10 offensive rebounds tonight against the Kentucky Wildcats, 12 second chance points. 8 blocks for the Georgetown Tigers. I love that. Kentucky on the other side headed their way in the number of steals. 13 steals for the Wildcats on tonight. Georgetown did have 4. 2 of those to Tay Dozier, 1 to Jaquay Wales, and 1 credited to Isaiah Mason, who made his Tiger debut in 19 minutes. Did not get in the scoring column. Did grab 3 rebounds. Also had a block and an assist. Nice to see Georgetown get Aiden Nyken some experience here. 6 minutes for him. Seth Johnson, Gavin Stevens, a couple of minutes off the bench. Javion Spikes just under 10 minutes of action here in Rupp Arena. Tommy Thomas with 20 minutes. Tay Dozier, the high man in minutes for Georgetown, 34 minutes and 34 seconds. He beat his teammate Kyron Jones by just 11 seconds, and had Jones not been in foul trouble midway through the second half, I have to think Jones's number would have probably been closer to about the 38-minute mark. But nevertheless, a good outing all the way around for the Tigers. And that's what, like I said, that's what you want. You want encouraging results from a night like this. You don't want to come in here and just completely get drubbed out of the arena. And Georgetown did not do that in any way, shape, or form. If you were watching on the SEC Network, or even if you're listening to us right now on your way home from Rupp Arena, and we do thank you for that. Please drive safely. You know that this was not a lopsided affair from the get-go. The final score shows a 23-point margin, but just not indicative of the way this game played out, again, particularly in that first half when Kentucky led by just 1 at the break. And I think that's just as encouraging as anything else, is that to come in an environment like this, and it was a sort of similar situation 4 years ago. Kentucky and Georgetown were kind of in a tight ball game. And about 5 minutes into the second half of that game in 2019, Kentucky really turned on the afterburners and put things away for a similar margin of victory that we have here tonight. So 92-69, the final score. Some more Tigers starting to make their way out of the locker room. Again, still waiting on head coach Chris Briggs, and hopefully we'll talk to him here soon. Not sure if we're going to be able to get Cam Brooks Harris over here. Going to get a few orange and black fans and family members across the way. I think just excited for the opportunity here tonight here at Rupp Arena. And again, I want to give once again a huge thank you to the entire Kentucky media staff, who were beyond phenomenal in giving us every accommodation we could ask for. Deb Moore, Brett Ryback in particular, handling the communications back and forth between the schools, between us and Kentucky. They were nothing short of phenomenal. First class all the way. Makes our job easier when you work in conjunction with a great crew who wants to make sure that you're taken care of, and they're not treating you like some kind of hostile force because you don't wear the blue and the white coming in here to Davis Reed Alumni Gym as Trey Mitchell's finishing up his interview. That's why you hear some extra roars of applause from the Kentucky crowd here. And again, I think they're perhaps waiting on John Calipari to come back out. Again, he's still got media obligations as well, as Trey Mitchell will sign a few autographs for some youngsters here. Still waiting for Chris Briggs. Hopefully we'll have him out here soon. And I know he's going to finish up what obligations he has in the back, again, with local media and perhaps even some national media. I would imagine we're here in attendance for this. Usually it's par for the course here in Kentucky. Some national media folks in there, so I'll have to answer some questions there. And hopefully be joining us here sooner rather than later. And I know he's trying to fight through a contingent of Georgetown faithful who are gathering. Friends and family of the Tigers have kind of gathered and kind of blocked off the entryway. And so, still waiting to hear on that. And pause for just one moment. Trying to get some clarification here on which one of either Chris Briggs or Cam Brooks Harris, if not both, will be joining us here. And again, we thank you for your patience and sticking around with us. Again, Chris Briggs had some UK media obligations he had to attend to immediately after the game, and that's also why John Calipari is not out here talking to Tom Leach on the Kentucky postgame radio show, because he also has that television media and writing media he has to attend to as well. And so hopefully we'll have Chris Briggs out here. I believe Cam Brooks Harris is on his way over here to talk to us. So we'll hopefully get some thoughts from him about just the experience overall. We'll talk about his night, of course. Brooks Harris, 21 points and 7 rebounds, also a couple of blocks. And so he is headed this way. And then we'll get his thoughts kind of, as I said, just on experience right here. Just overall and just the overall night here for Georgetown. And Cam Brooks Harris on headset. Cam, you got me good? No, not too loud in the ears or anything like that. Okay. A little closer, There we go. Hey. All right, so
okay, money.
Baby in your lap there. So just the final scores is not really what tonight was about. 92-69, but we go back to that first half. We're catching highlight. You're catching a lob dunk in transition. But just talk to me before we talk about your night, just this overall experience and the opportunity to come into a place like this and learn about your team early in the year.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's great. Just being able to come in here and make an impact immediately. Shoot you on the court. Make an impact.
It's rubber coated. She's fine.
And kind of like, in a sense, punch him in the mouth, because I don't think anybody expected us to come in here and put up a game.
Yep.
Even if we went down 6-7 in the first half, we fight back, and we're a team that fights, and we kind of want the world to know that. Not just Kentucky. We want the world to know that, like, we have that fight in us. We have that dog, and we can put up with anybody and anything.
You're the team, obviously, that went to the Fab Four last year. You're no stranger to big-time situations, clutch environments and whatnot. It looked like to me throughout this entire night, no one on your team was intimidated by this environment. This can be a daunting place to come in here and play, and it can overwhelm you. I didn't get that sense from your team at all. I know you got a lot of veterans on this team. Did you get that sense out on the floor as well, that you were not afraid of this environment?
Absolutely, man. I thought everybody was extremely locked in and extremely ready. We came here yesterday to shoot around, and everybody kind of got used to the big lights. You know what I'm saying? We got used to oh, man, this is a big arena. And we got that out the way. Now we come in here today, and it's time to work. Now there's nothing else to do but we're playing Kentucky. We got one opportunity at this, so why not put everything out there that we have and put it on the floor, man? I mean, we got nothing to lose.
So the first half, you're going back and forth with them early on. Kentucky maintains a small lead really throughout the half, but you fight all the way back, and it's a one-point game at halftime in Rupp Arena. What's that locker room like at halftime when you see that box score and say, hey, we're down only one here. We're in this game.
Exactly. The locker room comes in, everybody's excited, right? You walk in, and then there's a sense that the skill gap isn't the problem. The skill gap, you know what I'm saying, is not the issue here. We can play with anybody. There's a little size difference, but, man, we show we got some heart. Man, that's it. You just put your heart out there and let God handle the rest.
21 points and 7 rebounds for you tonight. I know I could see the little wry smile even in the game action. You were having a lot of fun out there on the court, were you not?
Absolutely, man. Coming from Marshall, man, I used to play in arenas like this. So coming back to a big arena with the big lights, man, I love every second of it, every minute of it, man. I can't get enough of this.
You're looking at some of the numbers deeper, and again, Kentucky didn't have a couple of their big guys in, Ugana Onyenso, Aaron Bradshaw, so that kind of evened out the size a little bit. But nevertheless, 8 blocks for your team tonight against that team with so many talented players on the floor, even without those big guys. That's really impressive, and it speaks to that. I thought that team defensive mentality you guys brought here in this one.
I agree, and that's like a big thing we had to take away from our last year's Final Four team is our defense is cohesive. We help the helper. We help everybody and get back to the man that's open. You hear me?
Absolutely. Cam, you got baby in laps, so I'm gonna release you and let you get the little one home. And she's had herself a good time. She's got the GC onesie on. She's chewing on the mic. This is a great environment. Cam, absolutely. Great game tonight. Looking forward to seeing you on Saturday for the regular season opener. Absolutely. Cam Brooks Harris will switch off headsets here if he can get it out of his daughter's hands, and Chris Briggs will take over. Right into it. Yes, we'll switch it out, and Chris Briggs will give us a few moments of his time here. Chris Briggs on headset, and Cam Brooks Harris walking away. And how about these Kentucky fans giving Cam Brooks Harris a round of applause for his night, 21 points and 7 rebounds. I want to talk about right now, this is your 3rd time coming back as the head coach at your alma mater here. You know, a couple times before things went the way they went, but tonight, the thing that impressed me most, I'm sure you've thought the same way, that your team showed no fear against the blue and white tonight, playing them all the way to that 1-point margin at the half. They stuck with it. Anytime Kentucky showed a spurt of a run, your guys fought back. What did you see in that respect?
Just definitely proud of our guys, proud of their fight. We told them coming in it wasn't going to be easy. You're going to have to scrap and claw for everything. You're going to get fouled numerous times, and they're not going to call it. And you're going to have to pass fake and shot fake and shorten passes and meet every pass because, you can't take anything for granted, whether it's a pass, shot, setting a screen or whatnot. And we did end up with some lapses when they broke the game open, but was proud of our fight. I mean, they had a couple chances to break the game open in the first half and a couple more in the second half, and they'd get up 8 or 10 and we'd cut it, and they'd get up 14, we cut it back to 8. So just kept fighting, kept clawing, stayed at it, stuck together, played hard, and competed, and tried to come in here and do the best we can to play the best we can and make them better, make us better, and what a phenomenal experience for our guys to play here in Rupp Arena in front of the fans and a program like Kentucky. So certainly appreciative of Coach Cal and Coach and Chris Woolard and Mitch Barnhart and all them for helping to get this done and provide our guys with that great experience.
Goose Givens comes over and congratulates you on the team's outing tonight. Go back to that first half, 35-34 at the break. Cam told me it was a pretty excited locker room. 11 guys on this roster from the state of Kentucky. Cam's not one of them, but he's nearby. He's from Ohio.
Right.
What was that like for you at the locker room at halftime, looking at the box score and telling your team, 1-point game, we're in it?
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's what we said. We're like, you're here. There's 20 now, and I also told them the most insignificant score in sports is the halftime score as well. So, just told them to keep fighting, keep clawing, stay at it. We've done 20. You got to do 20 more. It's not going to be easy, and I'm sure Coach Cal had some choice halftime words for his guys and got them fired up. And at the end of the day, those guys are McDonald's All-Americans, big, strong, athletic, and just a whole nother level. And they got it turned around and got rolling a little bit, and have a very talented team, and it'll be fun to see what they do as they go forward. Especially when they add these big guys, it's certainly going to help them out there on the court.
I was just going to mention, the lack of no Aaron Bradshaw, no Ugana Onyenso, even the playing field. I thought a little bit size-wise for you inside, but I'm looking at the numbers. 8 blocks from your team tonight. Right. I know you've got to be thrilled with that number, no matter if there's a couple of 7-footers out.
Absolutely, but Cam's long athletic wing. Tay Dozier, long athletic wing. Of course Rashad. You know, Rashad's long and athletic. He had a couple big blocks there in the first half. You know, and then who else got two? Did Kyron blocked two. Kyron blocked two, and Zay's another long-armed wing. So we definitely have some length and athleticism, and you know, as we go back to our level at the NAI level, it you know, should be a definite positive for us.
21 points and 7 rebounds for Cam Brooks-Harris. Again, got to the foul line 10 times tonight, knocked down 9. What did you see from him? He told me he was having a lot of fun out here. Kind of got the jitters out of the way yesterday to shoot around, getting used to the environment. But what did you see from Cam?
Just a fight, You know, he fought hard. He wanted to score the ball. A couple of those shots he got fouled on, I was certainly glad he got fouled, because if he didn't get fouled, they were going to be qualified as a terrible shot. So, but he got fouled on them, and luckily got to the line a few times, knocked down his free throws, 9 out of 10 from the free throw line. So just fighting, scrapping, playing hard, you know, and competing. You know, that's what we want to do. We want to come in here and compete, play hard, and just see what happens. And certainly proud of the effort they gave.
One other area I noticed that was interesting, looking at the final numbers, 16 offensive rebounds for Kentucky, but only 12 second chance points. So kudos to your team defensively inside. You had 10 offensive rebounds against that lineup, and the same number of points came through in that one. What did you think as far as your stick-to-itiveness for your team on the glass? Yes, you gave up some offensive boards, but limited the points that Kentucky got on them.
Yeah, I don't know if that, I don't have much answer for that. I couldn't tell you each play, but yeah, we'll take it. Thank God it happened that way. Definitely could have made it worse early, and you know, we, like you said, we gave up 16. That's too many, but you are playing Kentucky, so you know, certainly a tall challenge.
A couple more, and we'll let you out of here. This is obviously a unique experience for you. You know, you graduated from here. You were here on Tubby Smith's staff as a student assistant, grad assistant under him. You come back here now for the 3rd time as a head coach. What is it like for you to come back here, bringing your own program here in this environment against that program, and it's also your alma mater?
It's unbelievable, you know, and it kind of, you know, I told one of my friends before, I'm going to have to stop and take a deep breath, and you know, this is really real. So it's awesome. I mean, it's, you know, such a unique opportunity for everybody, for, you know, little old Georgetown College, 12 miles up the road, to have this experience and you know, sit here and play in front of 20,000 in Rupp and get that experience to play those guys is awesome, and certainly grateful, you know, for the experience.
You alluded to it before, so I'll get you out of here on this. Pretty quick turnaround for your team. You're back in action to kick off the regular season Sunday at Davis Reed Alumni Gym, 1 o'clock against Virginia Lynchburg. What do you take from this into that game? You took them on the first game of the year last year, won it convincingly. They're back here again. What do you ultimately take from this and start to apply it as you move into the regular season?
Right, just you know, I mean, you know, all the things we talk about in practice all the time, the things kind of, you know, we'll look at this film a little bit and see this is where it broke open, and it was the things we talk about. Not, you know, throwing a long pass across the court. We told them all week in practice, if you throw an 18-foot pass across the court, it's going to be a steal and a dunk, and we saw that tonight. So just the things of pass fakes, shot fakes, fundamental basketball, you know, going to get rebounds with 2 hands, you know, diving for loose balls, being scrappy. So, you know, we'll just turn and focus to our season. You know, we got Virginia Lynchburg on Sunday. We go to Kansas City next weekend actually, and then you know, it's here. So you know, we'll just keep working, keep plugging, and keep preaching the same things that we do every day.
Nevertheless, as you mentioned, also a great opportunity here tonight. Scoreboard, not really the full story of this one. Playing Kentucky to a 1-point game in the first half. That's a pretty cool thing for Georgetown College, as you said, little old Georgetown College. But to get that opportunity, really cool experience. Coach, greatly appreciate the time. We'll see you Sunday back at Davis Reed Alumni Gym.
Appreciate it. Certainly appreciate all the great Georgetown alums and students, cheerleaders, the pregame party they had. We appreciate everything they did for us there to help us get ready to play. So
they were definitely a big part of it. Chris Briggs, get on out of here and get back to Georgetown. We appreciate the time.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Chris Briggs joining us here courtside. And that's going to be the end of our night here tonight at Rupp Arena, as well as Kentucky takes down Georgetown in this exhibition contest by a score of 92-69. I want to thank Thomas Thornton for being courtside with us here, helping us out here on the stream, giving us his insights, though, at the half, and also to Bethany Blair and to Shaheem Daly, 2 of our wonderful student assistants in the Georgetown College Athletics Department. And they pull off a lot of things and balance a lot of things while also being excellent students at Georgetown College. And events like this don't happen if you don't have great people like we do at Georgetown College, in particular Bethany Blair and Shaheem Daly. So I want to thank them in particular as well for helping us pull this off here today at Rupp Arena. Final score, Georgetown falls to Kentucky 92-69. You've been listening to Georgetown Tigers basketball here on the Georgetown Tigers YouTube channel.